Have you ever stood right here in your own kitchen, a place that's supposed to be the heart of your home, and felt a flicker of uncertainty? A quiet worry as you pull something from the fridge, wondering if the food you're about to eat is truly nourishing you, or if it's silently contributing to a problem you can't yet see? It's a feeling many of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond know all too well. We hear the statistics. We hear about a friend, a neighbor, a family member who receives that dreaded diagnosis, and the world suddenly shifts on its axis. It can leave you feeling vulnerable, almost like you're walking through a minefield, trying to make the right choices, but not knowing where the real dangers are hidden. And this fear isn't just about health, is it? It's about everything that health represents. It's the fear of losing our independence. It's the fear of becoming a burden on the people we love most. It's the fear that our plans, seeing our grandchildren grow up, taking that trip we've been saving for, or simply enjoying a quiet retirement, could be taken away from us. The advice we get is often overwhelming and contradictory. Eat this, not that. One day, a food is a superfood. The next, it's a villain. But what if I told you that some of the most significant risks aren't in the specific foods we're told to fear, but in what's been done to them, in the processing, the additives, and the way we cook them? In today's video, we are going to cut through all that noise. We are going to build what I call an anti-cancer kitchen. We're not going to talk about deprivation or fad diets. Instead, we will identify 5 specific types of food to significantly reduce. And most importantly, I'll explain the why, how they can contribute to the chronic inflammation and cell damage that are precursors to disease. This isn't about fear. This is about knowledge. It's about taking back control and turning this room, your kitchen, into your single greatest ally for a long and vibrant life. I know this can feel like a heavy topic, and believe me, the last thing I want is to add another layer of worry to your plate. My promise to you today is that by the end of our time together, you won't feel fear. You'll feel empowered. You will have a clear, simple roadmap to make your kitchen a fortress for your health. But before we uncover the first item on our list, I need to know that you're on this journey with me. This channel isn't just about me talking at you, it's about us as a community, supporting one another in our commitment to age with strength and dignity. So, if you are serious about taking back control of your health, please take just one moment to click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. It's a small click that makes a big difference, ensuring you won't miss our future deep dives. And while you're there, I have a question for you. Please let me know in the comments below. What is the number one health concern on your mind right now? Is it joint pain? Heart health? Memory? Your voice truly matters here, and I read every single comment. It helps me make sure our content is serving you. Let's begin creating our anti-cancer kitchen. And the first item we need to put under the microscope is one that is deeply woven into the fabric of our meals and memories: processed meats. Now, when I say processed meats, what comes to mind? For many of us, it's the comforting sizzle of bacon on a Sunday morning. It's the quick and easy deli ham or turkey sandwich for lunch. It's the hot dogs at a family barbecue, the salami on a cheese platter, or the sausage links nestled next to our scrambled eggs. These foods are familiar, they are convenient, and for many of us, they are tied to a lifetime of tradition. And that is precisely why this can be a difficult change to make. But to protect our health, we have to understand what processed actually means in this context. It refers to meat that has been preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or adding chemical preservatives. The goal is to extend shelf life and enhance flavor. The problem is how that's often achieved. The main culprits are chemicals called nitrates and nitrites. Think of your body as a high-performance engine. For it to run smoothly for 70, 80 years and beyond, it needs clean fuel. When we eat processed meats, we're introducing these nitrates. Now, in and of themselves, they aren't the primary issue. The problem starts when we cook them, especially at high temperatures, like pan-frying bacon or grilling a hot dog. The heat transforms these nitrates into new, more dangerous compounds called N-nitroso compounds, or NOx for short. I want you to imagine these NOx as tiny little sparks flying off a grinding wheel. Inside your body, particularly in the delicate lining of your colon and stomach, these sparks can fly around and hit your cells. What do they hit? They can damage your cellular DNA, the very blueprint that tells your cells how to grow, divide, and function properly. Now, your body is incredible. It has a team of microscopic repair crews that rush to fix this damage. When we're young, these crews are fast, efficient, and well-staffed. But as we age, our repair systems can slow down. They get a little less precise. So, if we are constantly bombarding our system with these sparks from processed meats, day after day, year after year, we increase the chances that a bit of damage won't get fixed correctly. It's like a tiny typo in the blueprint. Over time, enough of these typos can accumulate, leading a cell to forget its instructions and begin to grow and divide uncontrollably. This is one of the fundamental pathways to cancer development, particularly colorectal cancer. Let's make this real. Think about a typical week: a couple of sausage links on Monday, a ham sandwich for lunch on Wednesday, maybe some pepperoni on a pizza Friday night. It doesn't seem like much, does it? Many of us think, I've been eating this way my whole life, what's the big deal now? And that's a valid feeling. But I want you to think of it like a tiny, slow leak in a pipe behind the wall. For a long time, you see nothing. Everything seems fine. But day by day, that slow drip is saturating the wood, causing silent damage. One day, you notice a stain, the wall feels soft, and you realize the problem has been growing for years. The cumulative effect is the real danger. So, what do? The goal here isn't about perfection, it's about reduction and intelligent replacement. It's about shifting processed meats from a daily staple to a rare treat. Instead of bacon or sausage with your eggs, how about a side of sautéed mushrooms and spinach with a sprinkle of smoked paprika to give you that smoky flavor? Or if you buy chicken or turkey sausage, become a label detective. Look for brands that are explicitly marked nitrate-free or uncured. For your lunch sandwich, this is a wonderful opportunity. Instead of prepackaged deli slices, roast a whole chicken or a turkey breast at the beginning of the week. Slice it up yourself. Not only does this eliminate the nitrates, but it's also lower in sodium and free of fillers. You get more flavor, more protein, and far more peace of mind. Other great options are a hearty chickpea salad mash or high-quality canned salmon mixed with a little avocado or Greek yogurt. By making these simple swaps, you're not depriving yourself. You are consciously, powerfully turning down the dial on chronic, low-grade inflammation and cellular damage. You are taking one of the most significant, science-backed steps you can to protect your long-term health. Now, the additives in processed meats are a clear problem. But what about the things added to what we drink? Sometimes the biggest threats come not from a plate, but from a glass. Let's turn our attention to something that can feel just as harmless, yet poses a profound risk to our aging bodies. Sugary drinks and their close cousins, refined carbohydrates. I'm talking about the sodas, the sweetened iced teas, the fruit juices with added sugar, the energy drinks, and even those fancy coffee concoctions that are more like a dessert in a cup. And in the same family, we have foods like white bread, pastries, sugary cereals, and white rice. Foods where the fiber and nutrients have been stripped away, leaving behind quickly digested sugar. I want you to think back. Maybe when you were younger, having a soda was a special treat, a reward. For many of us, that occasional treat somehow became a daily habit. It's the can of pop with lunch, the glass of sweet tea on a hot afternoon. It's become so normal that we barely even register it. But here's the crucial truth. For our bodies, especially after 60, there is nothing normal about a concentrated flood of sugar. Let's look at the science, but let's make it simple. Imagine your bloodstream is a busy highway and your cells are the houses along the side of the road. Your cells need energy, which they get from glucose or sugar. The hormone insulin, produced by your pancreas, acts like a friendly traffic cop, directing the glucose from the highway into the houses where it can be used for fuel. When you drink a soda or eat a slice of white bread, you are unleashing a massive, sudden traffic jam of glucose onto this highway. It's like 1,000 cars appearing out of nowhere. Your pancreas panics and sends out a huge wave of insulin traffic cops to deal with the chaos. They frantically try to push all that sugar into the cells. Now, if this happens once in a while, your body can handle it. But if it happens every day, multiple times a day, your cells start to get overwhelmed. It's like they have delivery trucks showing up constantly. Eventually, they start to ignore the traffic cops. They put up a no vacancy sign. This is called insulin resistance. The insulin is there, waving its arms, but the cells aren't listening. This creates two massive problems linked to cancer risk. First, to try and get the cells to listen, the pancreas works even harder, pumping out more and more insulin. This results in chronically high levels of insulin in your blood. And here's the key. Insulin is a growth hormone. Its job is to tell cells to grow. When insulin levels are always high, it can act like a fertilizer on precancerous or cancerous cells, encouraging them to grow and divide more rapidly. Second, all that excess sugar that can't get into the cells is left circulating in your bloodstream. This excess sugar is sticky. It attaches itself to proteins and fats in a process called glycation. I want you to picture this like pouring molasses over the delicate machinery of your body. It gums everything up. This process creates harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. And what do these AGEs do? They are a major source of oxidative stress and inflammation, those two villains we keep talking about. They damage cell structures, DNA and mold, and contribute to that same environment of chronic irritation that allows cancer to take hold. Let's put this into a feeling we all know. Have you ever had a really sugary snack or drink and felt that initial rush, followed by a heavy, lethargic crash an hour later? That feeling of your energy plummeting, the brain fog, the irritability? That is the physical sensation of your body struggling with that massive sugar and insulin roller coaster. It's your body's way of screaming, "This is too much." Now imagine that internal stress happening silently, day after day. It's not just about weight gain or diabetes risk. It is fundamentally about creating a pro-cancer environment inside your body. So, what's the empowering action here? It starts with the drinks. Make water your primary beverage. It sounds boring, but you can make it exciting. Infuse it with lemon, cucumber, mint, or berries. Switch to unsweetened herbal teas, both hot and iced. If you need that fizzy sensation, sparkling water with a splash of real fruit juice is a world away from a can of soda. When it comes to carbohydrates, think slow, not low. We're not eliminating carbs, we're choosing smarter ones. Swap white bread for 100% whole grain or a hearty sourdough. Replace white rice with quinoa, farro, or brown rice. Instead of a sugary cereal, have a bowl of oatmeal with berries and nuts. These complex carbohydrates have their fiber intact. Fiber acts like a gatekeeper, slowing down the release of sugar into your bloodstream. No traffic jam, no insulin spike, no cellular stress. This single shift from fast sugars to slow carbs and water is one of the most powerful levers you can pull to lower inflammation, improve your insulin sensitivity, and starve potential cancer cells of the sugary fuel they love. We've talked about what's in our food and drink, but the way we cook our food is just as important. In fact, you could be taking a perfectly healthy meal and turning it into a source of inflammation without even realizing it. I'm talking about overcooking, blackening, and charring your food, especially meats and starchy vegetables. I know what some of you might be thinking. But I love that crispy, blackened crust on my steak. Or that slightly burnt part of the roasted potatoes is the best part. For generations, that char has been equated with flavor. The barbecue, the grill, the high-heat sear, these are cornerstones of how we cook. It feels satisfying. It feels like we're doing something right. But we need to understand the chemistry that's happening when we apply intense, dry heat to our food. When we do this, we can inadvertently create potent carcinogens, cancer-causing compounds, that weren't there in the raw, healthy ingredient. There are two main culprits we need to know about. The first are called heterocyclic amines, or HCAs. These form when the proteins in muscle meat, that's beef, pork, poultry, and poultry and fish, are cooked at high temperatures. Think grilling, broiling, or pan frying on a screaming hot skillet. The higher the temperature and the longer you cook it, the more of these HCAs are formed. The second group are called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs. These are a little different. PAHs form when the fat from the meat drips down onto the hot coals or the flame of the grill. The fat burns and creates a smoke. That smoke, which is full of PAHs, then rises up and coats the surface of the food you're about to eat. It's the very thing that gives grilled food its distinctive smoky flavor. So, let's go back to our analogy of the body as a high-performance engine. If the N-nitroso compounds from processed meats were tiny sparks, I want you to think of HCAs and PAHs as globs of thick, toxic sludge. When we eat them, our body has to try and process and eliminate this sludge. Our liver works overtime, but some of these compounds can get into our cells and, just like the other villains we've discussed, they can bind directly to our DNA, causing mutations, those typos in our cellular blueprint. Over time, this damage can accumulate, overwhelming our body's repair systems and potentially initiating the growth of cancerous cells in the colon, stomach, pancreas, and prostate. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're at a summer barbecue. The sun is shining, your family is around, and you're the master of the grill. You put on some burgers, and to make sure they're cooked through, you press them down with a spatula. The fat sizzles and flares up, engulfing the burger in a cloud of smoke and flame. The edges get black and crispy. It looks and smells like success, but what we now understand is that in that moment of creating that perfect char, you were also creating a coating of these harmful PAHs. And inside the meat, the intense heat was forming HCAs. You're taking a perfectly good piece of ground beef and transforming it into something that puts a significant toxic load on your body. It's that feeling of heaviness, maybe even a little indigestion, that you can sometimes feel after a big grilled meal. That's not just from eating too much. It's a sign that your body is working incredibly hard to process what you've just consumed. So, how do we cook for flavor without creating these carcinogens? This is where we get to be smart cooks. Empowerment here comes from technique. First, lower the temperature and go gentle. Instead of high-heat grilling or frying, consider methods like baking, roasting, poaching, steaming, or even using a slow cooker. These gentle, moist heat methods don't typically create HCAs or PAHs. If you absolutely love to grill, you can make it much safer. Marinate your meat first. Studies show that marinating meat in a mixture of vinegar, lemon juice, and herbs like rosemary and thyme for at least 30 minutes can reduce HCA formation by up to 90. The antioxidants in the herbs and the acid in the marinade act as a protective shield. Also, don't press the meat and try to avoid those flare-ups. Cook on a cooler part of the grill or place a layer of foil with holes poked in it on the grates. Flip the food frequently to prevent any one side from getting scorched. And if you do end up with any blackened bits, do your body a favor and trim them off before you eat. By adopting these gentler cooking methods, you're not just avoiding harmful compounds, you are fundamentally preserving the integrity of the good food you've chosen to buy. You're ensuring that the healthy chicken breast or fresh fish you brought into your kitchen remains a source of pure nourishment, not a source of cellular stress. So far, we've focused on things that are pretty clear villains once you understand the science: processed meats, sugar, and burnt foods. But now, we need to venture into a territory that is much more confusing for most people. In fact, it's an ingredient that for decades has been marketed to us as the heart-healthy choice. I'm talking about a specific group of fats: industrial seed and vegetable oils. These are the oils that line our supermarket shelves in big, clear plastic jugs. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, cottonseed, grapeseed, and sunflower oil. They are everywhere. They're in the salad dressings we buy, the mayonnaise, the margarine, the baked goods, the crackers, and they are the primary oil used for frying in most restaurants and fast food chains. Because they are cheap to produce and have a neutral flavor, they have become the default fat in the modern food supply. The problem with these oils isn't the fat itself. Our bodies need fat. The problem is the type of fat they are overwhelmingly composed of, omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now I know as soon as I say omega, your mind probably jumps to omega-3s, the healthy fats found in fish, walnuts, and flax seeds. And you're right, omega-3s are wonderful. They are powerfully anti-inflammatory. Think of them as the firefighters in your body, rushing around putting out the small fires of inflammation. Omega-6s, on the other hand, have a different role. They are not inherently evil. In small amounts, they are essential for functions like immune response. When you get a cut, you need a bit of inflammation to fight off bacteria. So think of omega-6s as the team that starts the fire, a necessary controlled burn to handle an immediate threat. The problem is one of balance. For most of human history, our ancestors consumed a diet where the ratio of omega-6s to omega-3s was close to 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. The fire starters and the firefighters were in perfect balance. But because of the explosion of these cheap seed oils in our food supply, the modern Western diet now has a ratio that can be as high as 20-to-1 or even 25-to-1. Let's use our analogy. Imagine your body is a small town. A 1-to-1 ratio means you have one firefighter for every person who is allowed to start a necessary controlled burn. The town is safe. A 20-to-1 ratio means you have 20 fire starters for every one firefighter. The result is chaos. You have fires of inflammation breaking out everywhere, all the time, and your single, exhausted firefighter can't possibly put them all out. This state of constant, low-grade, system-wide inflammation is called chronic inflammation. And it is the fertile ground in which almost every chronic disease, including cancer, can grow. This chronic inflammation damages blood vessels, disrupts cellular communication, and creates that environment of cellular stress we keep coming back to. It's like leaving the engine of your car running in the red zone day in and day out. Eventually, something is going to break down. Let's bring this to life. Think about that vague, persistent achiness you might feel in your joints. That feeling of stiffness when you wake up in the morning. That general sense of fatigue or brain fog that you can't quite shake. For many people, this isn't just an inevitable part of getting older. It is the physical sensation of a body saturated with pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats and starved of anti-inflammatory omega-3s. It's the feeling of all those little fires burning unchecked. So what is the most empowering action we can take? This is a two-part strategy. Reduce and replace. First, the reduction. Start becoming a label detective. Pick up your salad dressing, your mayonnaise, your crackers. You will be shocked to see soybean or canola oil listed as one of the first ingredients. The single best thing you can do is to cook more of your own food at home, where you control the fats. When you eat out, be mindful that most restaurants use these oils for cooking because they're cheap. This doesn't mean you can never eat out, but it becomes a conscious choice. Second, the replacement. This is the fun part. You get to bring beautiful, stable, health-promoting fats into your kitchen. For your high-heat cooking, like searing or sautéing, use fats that are stable and don't oxidize easily, like avocado oil, ghee, clarified butter, or even coconut oil. For your salad dressings and lower heat finishing, the king is extra virgin olive oil. It's packed with a different type of fat, omega-9s, and powerful antioxidants like oleocanthal, which has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects similar to ibuprofen. By making this one strategic shift in your pantry, swapping the big plastic jugs of seed oils for a good bottle of olive oil and a stable cooking fat, you are fundamentally changing the inflammatory balance in your entire body. You are firing the 19 extra arsonists and hiring a whole new team of firefighters. We are almost done building our anti-cancer kitchen. There is just one more category we need to address, and it has to do with the very source of our food itself. We have one final, crucial layer to consider: the invisible burden that some of our healthiest foods, our fruits and vegetables, can carry. I'm talking about pesticides. Now, this is a sensitive topic, and the last thing I want is for you to be afraid of eating fruits and vegetables. Let me be absolutely clear. Eating a conventionally grown apple is infinitely better than eating a cookie. The benefits of the vitamins, minerals, and fiber in produce far outweigh the risks for most people. But we aren't aiming for good enough. We are aiming for optimal. We're trying to reduce every possible source of cellular stress, and for our aging bodies, minimizing our pesticide exposure is a smart and proactive strategy. Pesticides, which include herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides, are chemicals designed to do one thing: kill living organisms. They are poisons. While they are used in amounts intended to be safe for human consumption, the question we must ask ourselves is, what is the cumulative effect of consuming small, trace amounts of dozens of different chemical poisons, day after day for decades? Think of it like this. Imagine your liver is a sophisticated water filtration plant for your body. Its job is to take in everything you consume and filter out any toxins before they can reach your bloodstream and your cells. When we're young, this filtration plant is brand new, with top-of-the-line filters and a full crew of workers. It can handle a pretty heavy toxic load. But after 60, 70, or 80 years of continuous operation, our filtration plant can become a bit less efficient. The filters might be a little clogged, the workforce a little smaller. When we eat produce that has been treated with multiple pesticides, we are sending a complex cocktail of chemicals down the line to our already taxed liver. This constant chemical onslaught can contribute to oxidative stress, that same process we've seen again and again. Some studies have suggested that long-term exposure to certain pesticides may act as endocrine disruptors, interfering with our hormonal systems, while others have been linked to an increased risk for certain types of cancers. We're not talking about an acute poisoning, we're talking about a slow, steady dripping of toxins that adds one more layer of stress for our bodies to manage. Let's make this tangible. You go to the store and buy some beautiful red strawberries. They look perfect. But conventionally grown strawberries are notorious for being at the top of the list for pesticide residue. They might have been sprayed with multiple different chemicals during their growth cycle. So you wash them, which is good, but washing doesn't always remove all the residues, some of which are absorbed into the fruit itself. You eat them, and your body gets a wonderful dose of vitamin C and antioxidants. But it also gets a small, complex dose of chemicals that your liver now has to identify, neutralize, and package up for removal. It's an extra job. It's extra work. And our goal is to make our bodies work easier, not harder. The feeling associated with this isn't obvious. It's not like the sugar crash or the heaviness from a grilled steak. It's more subtle. It's part of that underlying hum of fatigue, that feeling of not being quite 100. That can come when our body's detoxification systems are constantly overburdened. So, how do we navigate this without breaking the bank? Because let's be honest, buying all organic produce can be expensive. This is where we apply a powerful strategy known as the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Every year, the Environmental Working Group, a nonprofit organization, analyzes data from the USDA and FDA and publishes a list of the 12 fruits and vegetables with the most pesticide residue, the Dirty Dozen, and the 15 with the least, the Clean 15. This becomes our smart shopping guide. You focus your budget on buying the organic versions of the Dirty Dozen. In 2023, this list included things like strawberries, spinach, kale, peaches, and bell peppers, items with thin skins or leafy structures that hold on to pesticides. For the Clean 15, items like avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, onions, and cabbage, you can feel much more confident buying the conventional versions. These tend to have thick protective peels that we don't eat, so their flesh is much less contaminated. By adopting this simple, targeted approach, you drastically reduce your pesticide exposure without having to buy 100% organic. You are lightening the load on your body's detoxification system. You are making one final, critical adjustment to turn your kitchen from a place of potential risk into a true sanctuary of health and healing. We've just covered a lot of ground, and I want to take a moment to pause and look at the big picture. We've talked about processed meats, sugary drinks, charred foods, industrial seed oils, and pesticide loads. It might feel like we've just identified 5 separate enemies to fight, but I want you to see that this isn't the case at all. Do you see the thread that connects every single point we discussed? It's not about the food itself. It's not about meat or fat or carbohydrates or fruit. It's about what has been done to the food. It's the chemical processing, the extreme refining, the harsh cooking methods, the industrial alteration of fats, the synthetic spraying. All 5 of these paths lead to the same dark valley, a state of chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and cellular damage. This is the common soil from which so many age-related diseases grow. So this journey isn't about fighting 5 different battles. It's about one single elegant mission: to stop pouring fuel on the fire of inflammation. It's about calming your system down. It's about giving your body a chance to rest, repair, and heal, just as it's designed to do. Look around this room, your kitchen. It's not a minefield anymore, is it? It's a command center. You now have the intelligence, the why behind these choices. You know that swapping your deli ham for home-roasted turkey isn't just a sandwich choice. It's a decision to protect your cell's DNA. You know that choosing water over soda isn't about calories. It's about keeping your insulin levels calm and steady. You know that marinating your chicken before you grill it is a powerful act of reducing your body's toxic load. This knowledge is power. It transforms you from a passive consumer into the active, intentional architect of your own health. Yes, changing lifelong habits can be challenging. It requires mindfulness and effort. But every small, deliberate choice you make, every glass of water, every piece of organic spinach, every drizzle of olive oil, is a profound statement of self-respect. It's a vote for more energy, for more clarity, for more years of vibrant, independent living. It's a vote for the future you deserve. I truly hope this deep dive has been valuable for you. If it opened your eyes in any way or gave you a feeling of hope and control, please take a second to hit that thumbs up button. It's a huge help. It tells YouTube that this information is important, and it helps our message reach more people just like you who need to hear it. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you never miss our next video. We are building a community here, a place dedicated to aging with strength, knowledge, and profound dignity. Your presence here makes us stronger. Thank you for investing this time in yourself today. Remember, every single meal is an opportunity. Stay strong, stay informed, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll be exploring simple exercises to improve your balance and prevent falls.